right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for our webinar on successfully navigating the transfer process. We are here thankful and part of our community college support series in partnership with Honeywell. We want to give you guys lots of time with our wonderful panelists. So I'm actually going to go ahead and kick it off and go ahead and start into our panel. So letting Pamela, our moderator, go ahead and introduce herself and help her introduce our panelists today. Thank you so much. And if anyone has any questions, you're welcome to put them into the chat or send them directly to me, and I'll make sure we get them covered at the end of our Q&A session today.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. My name is Pamela. I work for Honeywell in the supplier readiness team. I have been here with the company like a year and a couple of months. It has been amazing. Yeah. We have other 5 panelists. There's Milena. She's a chemical engineering student at the University of Florida. There's Belinda Alvarado. She's doing the computer science. Sofia Solorano, our chemical engineer. Alicia Miranda. She's a project management officer director at Honeywell. And Daniela Ojeda, she's a data engineer. And well, let's hear about them. If you guys want to start introducing yourself, sharing a little bit about your educational and professional paths, your professional experience, whoever wants to go first.
Why isn't the recording working though?
I guess I can go first.
Awesome.
My name is Milena Roman. I'm a 4th year chemical engineer student at the University of Florida. I will be graduating this December. I attended Valencia Community College in Orlando, Florida, where I earned my associate in arts degree in general studies with a focus on engineering. And then I transferred to UF. As far as professional, last semester I did an internship with Pfizer as an operations intern in their sterile injectable facility in North Carolina. And this summer I will be working with Medtronic as a supply quality engineer in Jacksonville, Florida.
That's cool. That's awesome. Are those internships 3 months?
Yeah, they're only for the summer, usually from June up until like mid or second week of August, and then I continue on with my semesters.
Cool. Thank you. Who wants to go next?
I can go ahead and go next. My name is Belinda Alvarado. I'm currently a computer science student at UTRGV. I graduated in December last year, 2023, and in the fall I'm going to be starting grad school, so pretty excited about that. I got my associate's degree while I was in high school because I was a part of an early college program, and then from there I transferred to UTRGV, and that's essentially how I've come to do my degree. And yeah, and as for like professionally, I've been working as like a tutor for the past year and a half, along with like Ship and Papaya, startup like tutoring platform, and it's a part of one of Ship's like pilot tutoring programs. So yeah.
Awesome. That's great collaboration to Ship. That's nice.
I can go next. So, my name is Daniela Ojeda, and I did community college at Kapiolani Community College in Honolulu, Hawaii, and then I did 1 semester at Valencia College in Orlando, Florida, and then finally got to the University of Central Florida, where I got my degree in mechanical engineering. Definitely a long path, but I think I wanted it that way, and it ended up working out. I work for the government in DC now, doing a bunch of their data analytics, using a lot of Python, AWS, and I just did my 3-year work anniversary, so big accomplishment.
Congrats. Cool.
I think I'm last. If you can
Yeah.
hear.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Alicia Miranda. I started college at a Santa Rosa Junior College in California. And then I went to San Luis Obispo, Cal Poly, or Cal Polytech of California, and got a mechanical engineering degree. So I have a bachelor's in mechanical engineering, but I'm not currently doing engineering, but I use that as my base for a lot of the things that I do. And I'm currently work for Honeywell.
How many years have you been with Honeywell?
Through 4 years, but I was with General Electric for 21 before this.
Oh, okay, cool. Nice path. Who else are we missing? Sophia?
I can go next, yes. My name is Sofia Solorzano. I'm a student, a chemical engineering student at the University of Florida. I started my education at Miami-Dade Community College. I was there for like 2 years and will be graduating chemical engineering in December of this year. I've had experience by doing a co-op in environmental engineering with Georgia Pacific, and we'll be working with that company this summer as a process engineering. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, thanks for introducing yourself, guys. Well, we have some questions for you guys. So this is for you, Sophia. What resources did you use to transfer?
Some of the resources were like my advisors. I would ask them like if that I had all my right classes correct. I knew I was missing one, so I reached out to the advisors from the University of Florida, and they told me that class is okay, that I can take it there. And I also had like a few questions with them. And another resource was like my step siblings who had gone to the University of Florida, and they kind of told me a little bit of how the process was. And yeah, mostly advisors from the college and the university itself.
Did you research like online or?
Part of it, yes. Most of it was probably online. I felt like it was kind of pretty straightforward. I would kind of just look for apply, and they would tell you like what you needed to submit and like any requirements that you needed, kind of. But yes,
Cool. And all your credits were taken into account. You didn't lose any credits when transferring.
yes, yes, I didn't need to. My advisors did guide me pretty well on
Awesome.
what classes I should take to kind of get ahead on some technical electives specifically. And maybe for certain classes, I needed to show like the syllabus to show what I kind of needed for that class. And yeah, so I would say make sure to keep your syllabus from any classes that you feel like would be important to take.
Great. So it was an easy transfer. That's awesome.
Yes, it was pretty smooth.
Yeah. Okay, so Belinda, question for you. What challenges did you encounter? How did you overcome them?
Is this currently like is this question directed towards like the transfer process or like socially, like on campus and stuff?
Both. Sure,
Okay.
sure to smooth. Yeah.
Okay, so some problems that I did encounter is that some classes they didn't directly transfer from like my associate's degree into like university. So I had to a good tip in mind is to like build like a good relationship with like your academic advisor, because like whoever you get assigned like your freshman year in university, that they're gonna stay with you for like the rest of like your undergrad unless you like specifically ask to be transferred, and even then like they're probably going to stick you with the same person. So build a good relationship with them. And I had my advisor's name was Nick, and he was really helpful. He was really supportive, and I asked him like, hey, could you essentially like fight for me like to have to not have to retake these classes even though they're like not accepted. So like he went in front of like the school board and he fought on my behalf, and like one class I did have to retake, but another one was like waived and like they did accept it. So that's a good tip. A problem that I encountered like during the transfer process. And then like socially, I remember my first semester, I felt really lonely because like, you know, I was transferring in and a lot of my friends from high school, they went to different colleges. So I had a little bit of trouble my first semester making friends, and it was kind of like a rinse and wash repeat, like going to lecture, coming home, doing homework, and that's it. But I overcame that essentially by like getting more involved on campus, by participating in clubs, as well as getting a job on campus, becoming a teaching assistant. So yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And it's always good to challenge yourself. So the transfer
Yep.
was good, and yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
Mhm.
Daniela, how did you select where to transfer? How did you pick your school?
So I went to Valencia College, which is in the same city as University of Central Florida. And also I picked that because it's close to the Space Coast. So like I wanted to do mechanical engineering, and I knew that there's a lot of job or internship opportunities in the area, like whether it's the theme parks, which I did end up doing an internship with Universal, designing one of their new Epic Universe rides. There's like Siemens, Lockheed. There was just a lot of engineering companies in the area where I knew that there was a good chance to get an internship, like between semesters or even during semesters. A lot of like my engineering friends and classmates work like right 5 minutes across the street is the Siemens from University of Central Florida. So um yeah, internship and job prospects in the area nearby was a big plus. And also because my community college already had like a direct connect plan where it was super easy, like they did all the behind the scenes work. I got like the concentration in the pre-engineering. So they already like detailed out every class I had to take in community college, that like by the time I got there, I was just doing pure engineering. Everything else had been done. So they took care of a lot of that, and that made it easy for me. And also because I'm in state, so I got in-state tuition. So it was a bunch of different factors for me.
Okay, nice. An additional question: how was your transfer to a work environment?
Like after I graduated.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that I was really happy because I was in college for a while, like 6 years. So if anyone out there like doesn't know right away what you want to do, it's okay if you take a while. But I had been living like a student for so long that like being able to get a paycheck and have, like all those years of studying paid off, like, you now have a little bit more income to pay for things. So I really enjoyed that. Also, my company has a really good community of young people like my same age, and they organize events for us. Like they'll pay for us to go to like baseball games, and like they'll just do like a bring us lunch or dinner, or like so they or coordinate a lot of social events because they know like the young people like like to do that stuff. So it was very welcoming, and it's kind of like they also have clubs, or like ERGs is what they call them, where you can find communities that you like. So yeah, it was great.
Awesome. Awesome. Cool. Thanks for sharing. Alicia,
Yes.
what piece of advice do which you received before you started your transfer process? And as far as like from community to college and also to the work environment?
So from community to university, I chose a junior college that had a track if you did a certain number of classes and passed them all, like all the engineerings, the chemistries, that you do a lot of your undergrad stuff there. You have a higher chance of being accepted to the university, and all of the classes were automatically accepted because they already have a partnership with that university. So that's why I ended up going to California Polytech. And going from a community college to a university, it was definitely a culture shock. In the sense that San Luis Obispo is a very small town. So I went from a bigger town to a very small town. Again, as somebody else mentioned, it takes a while to find friends. I always say your tribe, the people that you connect with. But once I got that started, I also went into the university a little older. So a lot of the university kids were younger than me, since I had to work my way through the junior college and into the university. I had a lot of experiences that they hadn't had. And so it's almost like you have to find other people that also had those experiences already, because the people that are brand new to the university and brand new away from home, they're not the same. They don't have the same things in common as you do any longer. So you have a lot more life experiences. And then I lived off campus that first year in the university. I did feel a little bit older because I did go to the junior college before I went to the university. So it just didn't feel like I really wanted to hang out with the really young kids who had just gotten there, because I was already through that phase. But it was harder to get involved in things on the campus. So somebody mentioned working on campus. That's such a great idea. I should have done it. Instead, I worked at one of the little restaurants down the street. So, I mean, that worked. I still met a lot of people. But I think that overall the transfer went pretty easy. But only because my junior college had already had a partnership with that university. And so everything that I took automatically went into the other one. And then what was your question? From university to work?
Yes.
Okay. So I was hired by General Electric at that time, and going from the university to the work, because I had already had work experience, you kind of already have the mentality that you have to show up on time and you have to do your work. But the corporate setting is definitely different than a university or a restaurant, right? So you just kind of have to learn your way around, learn there's like a lot of unsaid rules that you kind of learn. But you figure it out. You just have to find sort of your tribe. And that's where the employee resource groups really are very helpful. I got involved in the Hispanic network. And so I felt like I belonged. Like there were people that would take me under their wing and help me do things that I hadn't figured out yet. So I definitely recommend, when you get into the corporate setting or into a business, find some people that think the same way you think, have a little bit of the culture that we have, so that there's the connection already. It makes it easier, because then you have to ask those weird questions and you have somebody safe to ask those weird questions.
Yeah, I agree. They will probably have the same experience, same thoughts, or same questions even.
Yeah.
Yeah. And cool, thanks. Thanks for sharing that. And I have a question. I think you kind of answered and Belinda answered as well, but I don't know if you can share that, Sophia, from your perspective. What are some tips for adjusting to a larger campus?
Well, something that really helped me was kind of getting involved with SHEP, actually, specifically. I met like a lot of people that also transferred with SHEP. I mean, a lot of people that transferred into the University of Florida. And that were also in SHEB. That's how I met most of my friend group, kind of. And I found people that were in my classes in SHEB. And I also joined like AICI, which is the like the student organization for chemical engineering. I don't remember what it stands for, but kind of getting involved like that was really nice. I also like kind of spoke during my classes. I kind of approached people like, hey, how are you? And like, do you want to study together maybe? And also with my roommates, I kind of got them to like go see new places because I sometimes just don't know where they are. Most of my roommates had already been at UF. They weren't transfer students, so they were like showing me around. But I feel like what really helped me was getting into student organizations, getting involved and meeting people like that. Yeah, that is my biggest tip. Yeah.
Yeah, start getting involved. That's awesome. And Milena, in what ways did transferring to a university impact your academic and career goals?
It has really helped me a lot, definitely. Since my community college didn't have specifically an engineering like associates, it was more like a general studies, but I just took classes that would work for my engineering degree. I didn't know much about the engineering world or what did I have to do. So when I transferred to UF, it like most of everyone said, it was a little bit of a shock. So what I would say, the transfer helped me just getting those bases, like just like organization and try to keep on track with stuff. And I would say it has really, the university helped me a lot. Just putting myself out there, like Sophie said, joining organizations. I also joined SHEB at UF. Actually, that's how I met Sophie. So it was like small things that really helped, as well as also SHEB in our chapter really helped us develop professionally, having boot camps in preparation for national convention or just like small networking events within the campus.
Did you have those opportunities in your community college as well?
Personally, I was a little more shy when I was in community college. So that was something that I regret, that I wish I was a little more outspoken or more open to other stuff, because I was not very familiar, unfortunately. But after I graduated, I learned that there was like a sort of engineering like club, like organization, not specifically SHEP, but it was like an engineering one for that community college that I wish I knew when I was there. I found out after.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks. And I have another question for Belinda. How did you approach building new relationships with professors and peers at the university? You already talked about building relationship with your advisor. That helps. As for like professors.
Oh, yes, for sure. I think I have like this little story about my computer science 2 professor, Dr. Ayati. I love her. I'm really close with her now. She was my advisor for my senior project. But the thing is, I remember I was really shy. I took her during my second semester, but this is a point where like I became a TA. um I started becoming more involved. I'd become the president of the organization that I was interested in, Frontera Devs, and I was just making more friends and stuff. And then I decided, I was like with professors, the only time that you can get to see them is like during office hours, get more personal with them. So I would make it a point to always go to her office hours, or any professor that I felt like really interested me in what they were researching and stuff. I would make it a point to like go visit them, talk with them, and just talk either about like their research or even just like silly little things, small talk and stuff, just so that they remember me and like they know who I am. And I just go like developing like that relationship. And also like as a TA, the TA office was right next door to the department chair, Dr. Tamai. So I remember no one would really go to like the TA center for like help. But I remember I started being like more active in the class that I was TAing for and being like, hey, if y'all need help, come to my office hours. Like I'm available. I'm gonna send out a poll. If these hours aren't working for you guys, like I have these other hours. And, you know, like other professors noticed that and they saw that I was bringing in students into the TA center and it was benefiting the other TAs too, because like some of their students were coming in like, hey, like we heard that you can help us. I didn't even know there was like teaching assistants. So I guess just like working hard, making sure that like your efforts are noticed by your professors and also like building a relationship with them by like going to their office hours and like asking questions during class, just being active so that they remember you. I think it also helped that at the time I had like pink hair, so I was definitely very rememberable. But I'm not saying go dye your hair pink, but just leave an impression, leave a good impression on people, and like that will take you very far.
Thank you. Thanks for that. That's awesome. Cool. Any other things you guys want to share? Any other story that comes to your mind?
I guess what I would suggest would be just the transfer process to be smooth. Just, you know, make sure that you talk to your advisors. That was very important for me. As I remember what Sophie said when she did her transfer process, make sure you know which classes you need to transfer so you don't delay your transfer. If you can take maybe any other class at the community college, that might be beneficial. So you don't take it at the university. It's also good. That's something I wish I would have done. I mean, we have to take organic chemistry 1 and 2, and I wish I would have taken it at community college. So yeah, just have like a layout plan, I would say.
I think also don't be afraid, because I'm not a very extroverted person per se, but I was very extroverted when I had to be, especially like that first semester when I was feeling really lonely. I reached out to like my computer science 1 professor and I was like, hey, like I want to like get involved on campus. I want to make friends. Do you know of any clubs? He told me no, that he didn't know. So he directed me to a professor that might. I went to them and I was like, hey, do you know of any clubs? And then just started getting involved, talking to people, and just really reaching out to help build your support system, your community, as Alicia said, your little tribe there in your like department, whatever you're studying, just so that everything becomes easier because going through it alone is very difficult and not many people last like that. So definitely be extroverted when you have to be. I know sometimes it's hard, but it will help you in the long run.
May I add to that? That was great.
Yeah, thanks. Sure.
So my addition is, so in all of my years working, I have learned that you can pop in and out of extrovert when needed. So you learn the tricks to do it, but then you go back to your safe spot when the event's over, or the network event, or the whatever kind of event it is. You can pop back and forth. You don't have to stay introverted all the time, and you don't have to be extroverted all the time. I think that's a misnomer. I think we have some of each in all of us. You just kind of have to tap into it when you need it, right? So I'm very introverted, but I can definitely be extroverted when I need to be. And that's a trick. It's a skill. So I would work on that skill.
Awesome. I love that.
I can also add, community college was probably the highlight of my college career. I know it sounds crazy because a lot of people say more university, but the opportunities that I had were so like essential to shaping me overall. Like looking as I was going through it, I didn't realize it, but looking back now, I can see how unique those experiences were. Like And I don't know if I would have gotten them if I would have gotten straight to university. One example is like one professor hosted service learning trips to like a national park. So community colleges class sizes are a little smaller. So she would take a group of maybe 30 students to one of the other islands. I was the tour at the time, and we got to learn about like these excuse me, endangered birds and take pictures and plant trees like on the side of a volcano. And another that kind of snowballed. Like once you do a project, a research project or a service learning project, and you really enjoy it and you tell the professor and they already are aware that you're interested in this, they'll usually like refer you to like, hey, did you also know that we have these opportunities? So then I got to do like another research project with another professor. So you just want to focus on getting that first experience. It might take some time, might take some effort, might take asking like multiple times, telling them that you might not get picked the first round. The professor might take other students. But after you get that first experience, it just snowballed. And that kind of even drove me into research once I got to the university, because I had already done it at the community college level. I got to like just continue that. So I would say that it's a great like opportunity to get more one-on-one time with professors, like because it's a smaller class size, like maybe 30, kind of like high school, whereas universities are maybe like 150 off the bat. You may not see your professor even. You may have like a teaching assistant. She may have like other TAs teaching the class, and you may never even talk to them one-on-one. So definitely take advantage of like that experience in community college.
I would say the same thing. I think community college was my highlight. I went to university and I had the experience, but engineers, we don't have a lot of extra time. So I don't know how much university experience I really got. I enjoyed the junior college much more, just like Daniela.
I wanted to mention a little bit about that for me, it was not the highlight. I felt like I didn't do much in my community college, and I really wish I had gotten more experience, because once I got to my university, I noticed that everybody started getting like leadership positions since they were freshmen, and like started already getting involved with their student organizations. I wish I did that more. I believe Milena also mentioned that. So that's an advice I'd like to give, to like start getting into leadership positions, because that can really lead to internships, which can lead you to like a real job eventually. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, girls. Anyone else have something else to add? Thank you very much. Thanks for sharing your experience. And yeah, those it's great to hear from you, and that will for sure help students that are in your same position. Yeah. Do you have something else, Ashley?
Yeah, just wanted to do one quick shout out. So if you are joining us, Honeywell is also doing a community college chapter support proposal. So we have specific funding earmarked for our community college chapters. So if you're listening and you're part of your community college SHIP chapter, as we talked about how important it is to get engaged early, if your chapter community college doesn't have a SHIP chapter, let us know. You can start one. So just reach out to us. Those proposals are due at the end of the month to Pamela here. Reach out to chapters@ship.org and we can help you get some more information on that process. But also, if you do want to start a community college chapter, let us know, as well as if you're planning to transfer and you want to know where your SHIP Familia is and get connected with them before you transfer, please reach out to chapters and we'll help you with that part of your transfer process as well. So again, thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you to our wonderful panelists today, and thank you to Honeywell for making something like this possible. Thank you guys for joining. Bye, everyone.